Right then, good morning. So I thought I'd do a video this morning on what it's like to start and run your own business. Now, I don't have video editing equipment, so you're going to get all the mistakes, you're going to get all my stuttering, my stammering, possibly my cursing at traffic, but there we go. So what's it like? Started 2 years ago. Yeah, over 2 years ago. No, yeah, it is 2 years ago. Anyway, the fears of starting. Yeah, they're very real. What do I do? How do I do it? Well, the truth is, you just make it up. You just make it up. You just start. You put some advertising out. You can bang it on Facebook, and believe me, you'll have more work than you can handle very, very quickly. Especially at the beginning, if you make mistakes I made, which I think we all do. Some of the mistakes I made were, sorry, I wasn't sure where she was going. Some of the mistakes we make are not charging enough, not having an hourly rate that's high enough to cover your costs because you're trying to help people, because you don't want to take a piss, you don't want to, you don't want to overcharge. Quoting is still really difficult after 2 years. When people want quotes, it's really difficult because you just don't know. You can look at a job and think, oh yeah, okay, that'll take me 4 hours, and it ends up taking you 8 or more. So just be careful of that. Startup costs, well, they're not too bad if you've already got your own. Like mine's, so my job is handyman, gardener, cleaner, kind of odd jobs really. Do an awful lot of different stuff. I already had my own van, so that was out of the equation. But even if you have to buy a van, you're putting that against the business anyway. So, in terms of tax, you won't be paying much tax if you have to buy a van. Equipment-wise, I was lucky. I had an awful lot of stuff already, and you just have to buy it slowly as you go along, as the business allows you to buy it. So in the very beginning, you don't make a lot of money. You really don't. At the beginning of a business, you're not really making money because you're buying things as you need them. So, for example, leaf blowers, chainsaw, what are they called now? Hedge trimmers. Yeah. So bits and bobs like that, tools that you need, drills, impact drivers, bits, etc., etc. Again, a good base of screws, nuts, fastenings, and that sort of thing. Cleaning products aren't too bad. You can get cleaning products together very quickly, so that's not really a problem, and they're not very expensive. You don't have to go for super brands. So I found Wilkinson's when they were there in the dock were brilliant. B&M, places like that for the cleaning products, no problem. And then of course you can bulk buy cloths from Amazon, start an Amazon business account. You can bulk buy chemicals that you need as and when. Blue Roll, much cheaper on Amazon Business. You can pay a fortune for Blue Roll. It's incredible. It's incredible what you can pay, but you don't need to. Organising your own diary, trying to give yourself days off as well. Just let this ambulance pass. Yeah, giving yourself days off is hard. You have to be very disciplined if you want a day off. And being a people pleaser myself, that I've come a cropper a few times. I'm coming a cropper this week and next week, as it happens. So that's difficult. The other thing you've got to balance is what needs doing in your own house. the demands of your own family. And I don't mean that in demand wise, it's just, you're running a family, you're with a family, people need you, people want you to do things, not just around the house and job wise, but they want to go out, they want to have a good time, etc., etc. So you have to be available for that as well. So those things are challenging. The other challenging thing is, of course, if your van breaks down, because you've got choices. Then you can either hire a van whilst yours is being repaired, or you do it yourself. Which I'm lucky I've got a mate who helps me out a lot. So that's a good thing. Some of the jobs I can do myself, changing brake pads, things like that, I can do myself. But that is time out of your day, and that does push your work on. And customers usually are very understanding about things like that. The other problems with self-employment is if you're ill, the temptation is to carry on working ill. I'm not doing that really anymore. If I'm ill, I'm off. It does mean I'm backed up then, and I have to fit those jobs in. But I'm not working ill because you can't give your best anyway, and that's when mistakes will be made. You're not working at your 100%. It's just not worth doing. It really isn't worth doing. If you lose a job or two, well, there we are. I mean, that's life. That is life. We've come to realise now that there's always jobs, and that's the thing. There is always jobs. No matter which business you're going for, there will always be work. I would say, even if it's crafts and you're making stuff, there'll always be a demand. I would think. So don't worry about losing a couple of jobs due to illness. People cancel you because you've taken too long to get to them because of X, Y, and Z. Then okay, it feels awful because I hate letting anyone down. But I've had to learn that I've got to look after myself. You've got to be well. Otherwise, you can't help other people and you can't do the job. So you don't do it effectively. What else can I tell you? Tax is simple enough. If you can get yourself a good bookkeeper, it's nice and easy. Please let me across. Thank you very much. It's nice and easy. You get a good bookkeeper. You keep every receipt that you have. And what I do is I put the receipts in a box file, and then at the end of every month I put those receipts in a envelope, say in May 24 or whatever month it may be, and then I just give the bookkeeper in April all those receipts, bank statements, anything else that's coming out, going in, what wage I've taken, blah blah blah. It's all there anyway on your business account. You just highlight it and give it to them. So that isn't actually anything to worry about. Then you get a nice tax bill that I never saved for, and you have to pay it. I mean, the advice I'd give is obviously put some money every month aside for your tax, but I never do that. Sorry, this is so shaky. I'm going across rough ground now. Let's pull over here. Anyway, I've got a little bit of time. Yes, I have. So there we are. Tax isn't a problem. It's not as scary as you think. It's easy to get done. It's simple enough. Hey, look at that. Might not be shaking so much now. So what else can we tell you about starting a small business? It's not as easy in terms of, I think I'll have a lot of time to do my hobbies. You won't. You might if you're very disciplined, but I'm not very disciplined. So you just won't have time. And that can get you down. It certainly gets me down. You won't have time for hobbies as much as you'd like, unless you're really disciplined, very good at organising your own time. And I'm not. So I'm fine organising work, But what I never accounted for was just how knackered I am at the end of the day. I mean, I'm 48 now, so maybe that's got something to do with it as well. But I went from a job that was very taxing on the head, but not very taxing on the body, to a job that is very taxing on the body. You know, gardening is, quite taxing, pruning down trees and lifting them around, and even painting and decorating flat out is kind of hard on the shoulders and the wrists and the elbows and the energy levels and everything else. So that was a bit of a shock to the system. By 7 o'clock at night, I'm done. There's no way I can. I still hold out hope that I could go skateboarding, but reality is I'm just knackered and my body aches. So it kind of puts me off. I've got dogs to walk, blah blah blah. You know what it's like. You know what it's like. Life is there. So yeah, I mean, if you're very disciplined and you're making decent amounts of money, then maybe you can book time in for your hobbies and enjoying yourself. Otherwise, it probably isn't going to happen. What else do we need to know? Clients. Every client wants the job done this week or next. Every single one of them. And I always try my best. I do always try my best to fit them in, but sometimes you just have to be honest and say, look, I've got nothing for 2 months. I've got absolutely no gap. We can set a date today, and I'll be there. But if you need it done next week, then you might need someone else. And it's hard. It's horrible. It's horrible turning away work. But realistically, you just can't do it. You can't squeeze people in, and jobs don't always go to plan. So I think I can chop that tree in an hour. I can prune that tree in an hour. Yeah, no problem. And then actually, oh god, it's a little bit more than I thought it would be. And you're 4 hours in, and yeah. So I always give myself more time than I think I'll need now. So I've taken on a job for tomorrow, for example, and I think I've got that right. It's an all-day job, and so therefore I've booked it out. In the past, I might have said, "Oh, I might be able to do it in 6 hours and then go to a cleaner." No, don't do that. Just, stop trying to please everyone, and allow yourself plenty of time for the task at hand. People paying, not a problem. It's never been a problem. I think I'm still charging a little bit too little. Well, it's probably an understatement. I find it very difficult to quote and very difficult to charge, because I'm always kind of torn between, well, I need to get it right, but at the same time I don't want to take the mickey. So it's a very difficult thing to do. If you're kind of ruthless, good on you, but I'm not. So that can be a bit of a challenge, really. But yeah, people pay straight away. There's never been a problem in 2 years with Ava paying. But usually nowadays it's bank transfer, and that's absolutely fine. It's easier for the tax man. It's easier for my accounts. Cash is cash. I get charged to pay cash in. It's only £1, but it's £1. Do you know what I mean? Why should I be paying to put money into my own bank account? It drives me nuts. What else is there to tell you about starting a small business? Probably the most important thing is feel the fear, right? Feel the fear of starting and worrying, and bloody do it anyway. If you sit with fear for years and years and years, you won't move. And yeah, I did that. Yeah. And also, I was in a good job with a good wage, but I have found ways now, in the business to make enough to get by. And ultimately, if you're not happy in the job or system that you work in, and it's getting you down, and it has done for a while, there'll always be jobs out there. There will always be jobs out there. I found that myself. There's always a job. If you're willing to do anything, there's jobs. I mean, alongside my business, I'm still part-time doing a different job. During the summer, I work and do beach cleans and change the bins in the north of the county. And to be honest, I don't actually need that. And it's actually stifling the business because I've got so much on that I'm struggling to fit it all in. So 2 days a week is out due to that. And people have said to me, "Oh, Matt, you could do a job after work." Well, I'm up at 5 for that business, for that job, and maybe I finish at midday, 2 o'clock, whatever. I'm good for nothing. I haven't got the energy levels to carry on and go and do another job. So I book those days out, and I've had to learn that fast as well. So, but I would say if you want to start your own business, just do it. Just do it. It's you don't need massive outgoings to begin with. If you've got a small car or van that you can use, if it's handyman business, then that's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. Business insurance, not loads. It's not loads. I think it's what am I paying? 175 a year, I think it is, for liability insurance, which I haven't needed, thank God. But that was the other thing. That's the other thing. Mistakes happen. It's not about making a mistake that's the problem. It's about rectifying it afterwards, making it good. And you learn very quickly. You learn new skills and ways of dealing with things very quickly. Let's put it that way. I don't make many mistakes, but I have made a couple. In the 2 years, I remember measuring 3 or 4 times a job, and then I still somehow managed to drill a hole in the wrong place. Don't know how I managed it. You could fall apart at that point, or you can just look at it and go, right, okay, we know how to fill holes, we know how to make good, we know how to smooth that over, we know how to paint, we can get that perfect. So that's what you do, and then you go back, remeasure another 20 times, and then get it right. So yeah, there we are. Sorry it's a long video, but if it's of interest to you, then that's brilliant. If it's not, don't watch it, or just regret getting this far in, I suppose. All right, take it easy. Bye bye.